Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, we're going to be answering the question, what is the best rocket-powered vehicle in Grand Theft Auto Online? So there's three of these guys in-game. We have the Oppressor motorcycle, which came out in gun running, the Rocket Voltic, which came out with import-export, and the Vigilante that's going to be coming out in this year's Halloween update in 2017. So those are the three vehicles that have rocket-powered abilities. And when the Vigilante comes out, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to say, well, is this better than the Rocket Voltic? You know, I already own an Oppressor. Should I buy this? And we're going to be answering that question today by talking about 7 distinct categories: price, seating, armor, weapons, maneuverability, speed, and stopping power. So let's talk about the price and compare them to each other. For the Oppressor, you actually have two prices, a trade price and a buy it now price. The trade price is $2,650,000, whereas the buy it now price is $3,525,500. Now, similarly to the Oppressor, the Rocket Voltic also has a trade price and a buy it now price. The SecuroServe trade price is $2,880,000, whereas the buy it now price is $3,830,000. So a little bit more expensive on that front. And last but not least, if we take a look at the Vigilante has no trade price. It has one price, and that is $3,750,000. So let's break this down in two ways. Let's talk about the buy it now price. If we look at the buy it now price alone, the Oppressor is the cheapest, followed by the Vigilante, and the Rocket Voltic is the most expensive. However, if we take a look at the trade price, if we incorporate that in as well, the Oppressor is still the cheapest option. However, the Rocket Voltic bumps down to the second cheapest, with the Vigilante becoming the most expensive. So at the end of the day, it's going to depend on what price you have, but it still remains that overall the Oppressor is the cheapest value as far as what you can get for a rocket vehicle, with the Rocket Voltic and the Vigilante alternating depending on what sort of price you ultimately have. However, even if you don't have the trade price for the Oppressor, it's only about $100,000 more than the Vigilante. So I would say overall, the Vigilante is by far the most expensive out of the rocket-powered vehicles. All right, after that, let's talk about seating. So it should be pretty obvious the Oppressor is a one-seater motorcycle, whereas the Vigilante and the Rocket Voltic both have a driver and a passenger. So for those two vehicles, you're getting 100% more passenger carrying capacity, whereas with the Oppressor, you can obviously only seat one person. So it's the cheapest option, but it also has the worst carrying capacity as well, with only one rider, whereas the other two have two. Now let's talk about armor on all three of these vehicles. If we start with the bullet protection in any way, shape, or form, well, the answer to that is none. So you can shoot straight through the windshield on all three of these vehicles, which means you're going to be pretty vulnerable when it comes to either NPCs that can shoot through you or other players that can shoot at you as well. So you are not bulletproof or bullet resistant in any one of the vehicles that we're going to be looking at today, any of the rocket vehicles. Now, as far as explosive resistance on something like an RPG, a sticky bomb, a grenade, or anything like that, the answer is all the same for all of them. And the answer to that is it can't survive a single explosive, which is a real bummer. Now, I didn't expect the Oppressor or the Rocket Voltic to be able to stand up to any explosives, but I was thoroughly disappointed that a vehicle based off of one of the Batmobiles can't survive one sticky bomb. Even with all that weapon capacity, which we'll get into in a little bit, it can be taken out by a simple grenade or a simple sticky bomb. So all three share the exact same resistance or lack thereof for explosives and bombs and grenades and stuff like that. After that, we move on to weapons. Let's start with the Oppressor. So the Oppressor has two sets of weapons. It has a standard 7.62 machine gun that comes on there by default. And then through upgrading the vehicle at the Mobile Operations Center, it can get homing missiles applied to it as well. So you can have homing or non-homing. You can flick it on or off. And the homing missiles work. There are 4 in the front of the Oppressor, and you can fire them 1 per second. And when you run out of the 4, it will regenerate to a new set, which you can see will refill and appear on the front of the motorcycle. So even though there's only 4 on the front, you still have the same ability to fire them 1 per second. And if you want to use the regular machine guns, you can, although they are incredibly weak. Moving on to the Rocket Voltic, by far the biggest weakness of this vehicle, it does not have any weapons. Now, you can use regular weapons like any other normal car, and I should say the same thing about the Oppressor and the Vigilante, but if you wanted to pull out sticky bombs or grenades or a submachine gun, you can do so in the Rocket Voltic, and you can utilize that as your weapon, but the car itself does not have any weapons. And then we move on to the Vigilante, which is also strapped with two types of weapons and are both upgraded at the Mobile Operations Center. So the first weapon is a standard 7.62 machine gun. Like the Oppressor, it is very weak, would not recommend you using this. And then it gets a set of homing missiles as well. Now there are 8 total on the front. That upgrade has to be done at the MOC, and they're pretty cool. So you can fire one of them per second. When you run out of all 8, it will refill on the front of the Vigilante, and they're pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie to you. It is really fun hunting players with this vehicle as it's really fast, obviously, as we'll touch on in a little bit, and those missiles are incredibly cool. Now let's talk about maneuverability, and the way I'm judging maneuverability is how easy it is to navigate this vehicle with and without the boost. So first place here by far goes to the Oppressor. The Oppressor is the only rocket vehicle that has a mode that allows you to better stabilize, float, and fly in the air. So it is by far the most maneuverable here as far as going up into the air, landing, getting from point to point. It gets an A+ in this category. So maneuverability, by far the number one option is the Oppressor. Number 2 is the Rocket Voltic. So this vehicle is quite light. So in the air, you'll be able to adjust and move your vehicle back and forth or up and down. However, you won't have the ability to really alter your course in the air. You'll just be able to allow yourself to land a little bit easier or prevent yourself from crashing into something by twisting or turning the vehicle. But it is light enough that you can slide around and you can pick and choose your jumps pretty carefully. And then that brings us to vehicle number 3, the least maneuverable of them all. And that is the Vigilante. This thing is incredibly beefy, bulky, and heavy, and it's very difficult to move. Even if you can get this thing in the air, it won't last for that very long as it will come tumbling back down to the earth. But the Vigilante it's just a big, heavy car, and that's what it is at the end of the day, making it very hard to maneuver in the air, so it gets last place. Now, let's talk about speed. This category is pretty interesting, and I've got a speedometer on the screen as well so you can see the actual speeds in miles per hour. So what I was measuring here was the top speed using the rocket boost. It has a rocket boost on there. Let's utilize it when we're calculating top speed. So let's start with the Oppressor, and the top speed I was able to get out of the Oppressor was about 147 miles per hour, which was really, really fast. I was not expecting to hit that top speed at all, and that is with, of course, using the rocket boost on the back. Without it, it was hovering around, 110, 120. If we move on to the Rocket Voltic, this one is kind of disappointing. The Rocket Voltic was a little bit slower than I thought. The top speed I was able to reach with this guy was around 138, 139 miles per hour. So just around 8 or 9 miles per hour slower than the Vigilante, which you don't think is a big deal, but you can really actually tell the difference, which is quite insane. So as of right now, the Rocket Voltic is in last place, but we still have the Vigilante to go. And how does the Vigilante stack up? Well, the Vigilante is quite fast. In fact, it reaches speeds faster than the Oppressor. I was able to get it up to 149, 150 miles per hour. So it is faster than the Oppressor with all the other stuff it has. So even though this vehicle is so beefy and bulky and it doesn't have great maneuverability, it is quick as heck in a straight line. I mean, it is very fast. So again, top speed goes to the Vigilante, close second place, Oppressor, last place, clearly the slowest, is the Rocket Voltic. And now let's talk about stopping power. Stopping power is basically just a vehicle's ability to ram other items. If we start with the Oppressor, that doesn't exist. You're on a motorcycle. If you hit things, you're going to fall off. So that's pretty much an F as far as ramming power goes. For the Rocket Voltic, not all that great. It's pretty much like a normal car. If you hit another vehicle with the rocket boost, you'll kind of just have like this big recoil off of each other, but nothing all that much happens. I'll say it maybe gets a C or a D. The Vigilante by far is the best ramming vehicle we have in the game. It has an increased ramming force flag that's actually been added to it by Rockstar. This thing will burrow through people. It is unbelievable. It's an A++ as far as ramming and stopping power goes. So you can literally just use the boost, run straight into people, and you will push them out of the way, basically just like the Phantom Wedge does, which is pretty crazy. So to recap, Vigilante, certainly the best ramming. Rocket Voltic, not all that great. And the Oppressor, obviously, don't hit cars or you will likely fall off and die. So now let's give an overview of which one is the best. And honestly, the answer is it depends. It really depends on what you want. If you want a cheap, maneuverable, and pretty fun option, well, it looks like the Oppressor is going to be the best bet for you. But then honestly, if you're deciding between the Rocket Voltic or the Vigilante, the answer to that should be pretty clear. And I think the answer is the Vigilante. So if you have the trade price for the Rocket Voltic, yes, the Vigilante will be a little bit more expensive. But honestly, it does so many things better than it. It's faster. It can seat the same number of people. It's weaponized, which means you're going to be able to fend yourself off in multiple different ways. And I think it's a little bit cooler than just the Rocket Voltic. I mean, they're both supercars at the end of the day. So that's why I'm thinking that the Vigilante is overall better. The only downside is it's a little bit more expensive if you have the trade price for the Rocket Voltic, and it's a little bit less maneuverable. But the fact that it has way better ramming power, stopping power, it's much, much faster, can seat the same amount of people, and is weaponized, the choice is pretty clear here. The Vigilante is better than the Rocket Voltic, and the Oppressor is probably like the cheap, casual option that can still kind of be weaponized and can still cause terror. It's just going to be a little bit lacking as far as being able to carry one other person, and you're obviously more exposed because it's a motorcycle. But anyways, that's all the information I'm going to be talking about for you guys in this video today, and that is my analysis of what is the best rocket-powered vehicle in Grand Theft Auto Online. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. Let me know which one you think is the best and which one have you purchased and which one will you be purchasing in the comment section down below. If you guys did go and enjoy this video though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care and I'll see you guys in the next video.